I just thought I'd get on here tonight because why not? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oops. My sister's behind me. We're just hanging out. It's Friday night. Basically, what did I title this live? I titled this live, Attract What You Want No Matter What. Okay, so attract what you want no matter what. Everybody knows what they want. I don't know if you want, you know, whatever you want. You have your list. If you don't have your list, you need to put that list together. You need to write it down, okay? Like, you need to write it down so that you can have a clear focus on what it is that you want. And that can be whatever it is. I'm not like limiting. This could be like your career. This could be like what you want to do, you know, with your free time. This could be people that you want in your life. It could be anything. The key point though is to make sure that you set your intentions. And one of the best ways to set your intentions is to write it down, you know, because I feel like every time I write stuff down, it's crazy. It's so crazy. It's like one of those things where just try it. Like, that's all I'm going to say. Just try to write down the things that you actually desire. And you know what? You're going to write them down because you desire them. But you're going to have to start every day when you look at the stuff that you wrote down, you're going to start knowing that you have those things. They're not going to be things you want anymore. They're going to be things that you have. So when I say to write it down, I don't necessarily mean, okay, like, you know, I want this, I want that. Don't do that. You're going to list out the things that you desire and believe that you have them. So the way that you write it down is like, I have these things already. So I have, you know, whatever it is that you desire. So I'm not going to get into specifics because like everybody has their thing. Like some people want like Coke and horse, and that's fine. Like a Coca-Cola and like horse. You get what I'm saying? Like everybody has their thing, but whatever it is that you feel that you know, you assume that you should have, you need to write it down. That's the first thing you need to do. And that'll give you a lot of clarity. I know sometimes like people are just like circling in their mind like all of these things, like, you know, do I want to do this, or do I want to do that, or do I want to go here? Write it all down. When you write it all down, it's going to be a lot clearer for you to focus on the specific thing that you believe you have. Then you're going to start imagining it, daydreaming about it. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where the more you have clarity on the things that you feel you are supposed to have and the things that you will, you know, you'll start to believe it. That's pretty much how this thing works. And I know it's like kind of crazy, but it's real. That's all I'm going to say. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about and open with that. You know, obviously I'm always talking about gratitude because gratitude rules the world. It rules my world. It's the greatest thing you can give yourself. I mean, you can give yourself, you know, I like gifts too. I like to buy myself stuff, but gratitude is like the best thing you can give yourself. It really, really makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you look good. And when you look good, I'm kidding. When you feel good, you attract the things on your list. So make sure you are always like staying in gratitude. Anyways, tonight I have like a few things that I want to get off my chest. Because like I was just thinking about red flags again. And obviously I'm not thinking about red flags because I'm not... Actually, you know what? I will say this. When you understand red flags, they become like, you just kind of understand how to see them easily. Like I said in a previous video, like people don't just tell you like, hey, this is my red flag. Like, you know, people don't do that. The way that red flags present themselves are like in behaviors. And like, once you are aware of like red flags, you become super keen to seeing them. So you're not like, you know, stressed about like, oh my God, is that a red flag? You kind of just know. One of the things that I was thinking about the other day that is a red flag that I think is kind of it's not an unpopular red flag maybe, is like in another person, is when you meet someone and they're like super in other people's faces. So like when they're with you, they're kind of like chill, normal, you know, maybe even a little bit like reserved. that kind of thing. When people are like that with you, but then when they're around other people, they light up. Now, some people might call that borderline personality disorder, and they might be dealing with that, and that's fair. But that doesn't mean that you have to deal with that. You don't have to deal with someone who is like not, cool with you when they're with you. But then when they're with other people, they're just, especially new people, they're just like so excited. You don't have to deal with that. But it's something that I think people don't really pay attention to, especially like once you get to know people and once you are around them a lot, we kind of just like allow people to be themselves, which we're supposed to be doing because that's the crux of our existence as human beings. But we don't have to put up with people behaving, unkindly to us. And maybe not unkindly, but just like being super reserved with us or giving like low effort with us. If you're in a conversation with somebody and they're like barely like opening their mouth when they talk to you, and you don't have to deal with other people's mental health issues, especially if they don't make you feel good. But I do think I've been seeing like a lot of people online with their like, the people that they're dating and stuff like that, and they're just like recording. And I understand like, okay, like you're recording and it's not that like fun for them to kind of, be on camera with you because everybody doesn't want to be on camera. But like if you're out like at a beach resort and this person is like all up in other people's faces, but like when they're with you at the bar, they're just kind of like barely opening their mouth, like barely excited to be with you, that's a red flag. Okay, like that's a red flag. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that that's like a very minor thing that is so unnoticed. But I've been noticing it lately, and I just wanted to put it out there that that's not okay. Because what happens with a situation like that is those people are going to start ignoring you more and pouring their energy into like other people and other things. And when people are doing that, that's not healthy. That's not a healthy relationship to be in. That when you're in a relationship with someone, everything that you are pouring into the relationship. And again, this is not just romantic relationships. I said that before. Most of the time when I'm like talking about this stuff, I'm talking about just like general relationships, platonic relationships, work relationships. You can have a friend at work that's just like, like you're their ride or die at work. Like you always have their back, but they like barely have the energy for you. But like somebody new comes along and they're like all up, no, that's a red flag. Or like somebody from another place comes in and they're like all up in their face and all excited and stuff like that. That's not cool. So thank you. But when you have people like that around, you really have to be careful. And what happens a lot of times is like, you might get people who are, not giving you the energy that they give strangers. Like if people are giving you like very low effort and they're like giving their all to a stranger, let me tell you, that can like, if that's a romantic relationship, disaster in the making. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have like expenses to take care of. Like you need to go like buy yourself a Fendi bag, and like they're not going to be able to do that. Like, cause they're buying somebody down the street something else because they're trying to prove themselves to other people, and they're not trying to prove themselves to you when you're the one that's there putting in work with them. Okay. So that's how that stuff like manifests. And like people don't realize that that's such a unnoticed red flag. And I just wanted to like put that out there because I just was clocking some stuff I saw like on other people's, vlogs and stuff like that. And it's, like it's one of those things where it's like, I wish the best for everyone, but at least if you know it, you'll understand how to move with it. And that's another thing. Red flags don't necessarily mean like, okay, like you have to just totally abandon a person or abandon a situation. But at least once you know it, because we all have red flags. I'm sure there are red flags that, I ain't got no red flags actually. I'm kidding. Everybody has red flags, and then some people will put up with them and some people won't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's times where like I need to spend a good amount of time doing my eyebrows, and like you have to deal with that. Like Is that a red flag for you? I don't know. But basically, everybody has their thing. And other people don't have to put up with your thing. People can understand, and we can understand each other's things. But once you understand it, then you'll be like, okay, I know what that person is. I know what it's going to create. I know how it's going to manifest in the future. Am I willing to put up with that? Because that's like the main thing. Like, do I want to put up with this? Is this something that I want to continue for the rest of my time with this person? Do I want to sit at lunch with this person that, I work with, who is barely giving me any good energy, but they're like smiling at the new person in the office? Like, no, I don't want to deal with that. Like, or you could deal with it, or you could be like, I'm just happy to have a company. No, but just let me let you know, like, don't be disappointed when the company is not, tip-top company. And let me tell you something. Let's go back to how you attract everything that you desire, because a part of dealing with red flags that we all have to understand is, and there's levels to red flags. There's some that are worse than others, but a part of dealing with red flags that we all need to kind of understand is that it is an indication to a certain extent, especially when the red flags are really like, serious red flags, like betrayal and, those types of, deep red flags that can like get people like, it involves their health or safety and things like that. Those type of red flags, dealing with that stuff on the regular basis is actually so unhealthy, and an indication that people might be dealing with self-esteem issues. And let me tell you, self-esteem is like the crux of attracting the things that you desire. Because if we as human beings are putting up with things that we don't actually, I'm a little stuffy, oh my gosh. If we as human beings are putting up with stuff that we know aren't like making us feel our best, or we're dealing with it because we don't feel like we deserve better, what happens is we're not in the highest vibration. Okay. And a huge component of like attracting the things that you desire is that you're in a high vibration. So just think about that, like, I'm in a high vibration, so I can feel good. And when I feel good, I welcome and receive all the things that I like. But when we're not in the best vibration, it's very difficult to feel good. And unfortunately, if people are putting up with red flags that don't make them feel very good, what's happening is they're not in their best state to receive and welcome all the things that they desire. So once you write that list of all the things that you desire, I would recommend adding to the list that you desire high self-esteem and feeling, your best. That's a big component of, just like attracting the things you desire. So write it down and write down that component. And a lot of people tend to write down like material objects, and like I'm all about, here I talk about like luxury fashion occasionally, by the way. My accessories are some of the brands I'm actually very excited to see. Some of their shows, New York Fashion Week started, so like excited to see some of these brands collections at Fashion Week. So I love material things, but I do think it's very important to be very grateful and very excited to want and desire feeling your best, and that's a huge thing. So let's pivot into a little bit more. I'm actually going to do like another red flags. I'm going to break down red flags, and red flags have been on my mind because I've just been seeing them a lot. I don't know if there's like some divine intervention that's just kind of like trying to insert red flags in my kind of, this, I'm just getting this vibe. Like I need to just be like, I'm just getting this vibe. Like I need to be, talking about this kind of thing. I don't know if there's like some sort of divine, intervention that's like wants me to like get online and talk about it, but that was one that just came up to me, and I've just been noticing it a lot. And like family members do it too. So like family members sometimes are red flags. Or I shouldn't say like the actual family members red flags, but there's behavior in family members that are also red flags. You know, somebody that's just being negative all the time. Like, I'm sorry, like, I love you, you are my family, but I cannot, I cannot, like, I can't do that. So just like pay attention to it. Like, we don't deserve to feel shitty, or we don't deserve to not feel, you know, our best. We should be actively every day of our lives working on feeling our best. And so, you know, I just like wanted to share that with the world. You know, I've been like going out to like stores and like doing things, you know, for just errands and things like that. And I've just been noticing like people are not kind. Not necessarily with me, because I always do self-checkout. Like, I don't work here, but like I work here because I want to get up out of here. You know what I mean? So like I feel like I don't necessarily have to encounter the unkindness, but I definitely see it. And yes, I will answer that question, because that's actually a really phenomenal question. But I don't really see it. I mean, sorry, I do see it, and people are unkind, and I think a lot of the unkindness is coming from people just being a bit unhappy. And I mean, there's like a lot of things that if like we focus on like not great things that are going on in like the real world, we can spend a lot of time being unhappy. And sometimes a little bit of fantasy kind of helps with, you know, escaping the real world. I'm not saying you need to go do like, you know, crazy things, but you've put a little lipstick on, girl. Like, put a little lipstick on and feel good about yourself. You know, if you're a guy, get some beard oil from Prairie Apotheca and, you know, stimulate your face and feel great. You know, do some self-care and like feel good about yourself. So there needs to be like a lot more time spent on ourselves, being a little bit more selfish, a little bit less time on nurturing and enabling and coddling bad behavior and red flag people. Like, because I think a lot of the reason why some people are, you know, not so kind when we go out, and, you know, we can get into like the State of the Union, okay? Like, I'm not particularly happy with the State of the Union. Obviously, there's an election coming up. I'm not going to get into politics, but people are dealing with a lot right now. You know what I mean? And those things can also affect how people feel. But ultimately, if we're grounded with ourselves, you know, I was talking to my sister the other day, and like, if we are more grounded with ourselves and we spend, you know, more time self-reflecting and less time in reality, we actually feel better. And when you feel better, it's very difficult for reality to permeate, you know, the aura that you put around yourself, or the sphere, you know, it's very difficult for reality to penetrate it. Like, no matter how difficult things are, you know, there's always chaos in the world. There's always unfortunate things that are occurring. So, so like spending more time on self-care, you know, I'm huge into, you know, I'm very huge, you know, well, I mean, on screen I am, but I'm very, very committed to self-care. And, you know, I've this brand that I'm very passionate about that is just focused on feeling amazing and, spending more time, you know, nurturing this, you know, ourselves. But I do think like if people spent some more time there, introspection, learning how to kind of, you know, feel good no matter what. You know, sometimes you gotta take a nap. Like, sometimes, you know, And I know people have to work and people have to do these things, but like you have to find time for that. And like the whole red flag thing, I'm kind of rambling, but the whole red flag thing is like, stop entertaining like people who don't give what you give. Like that's draining. That's draining. So imagine dealing with that plus the state of the union or whatever's going on, you know, that's out of our control. Like focus on the things that we're in control with and don't let those things be the things that are draining you. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not just saying this to be like, tell you what to do. I'm saying this because this is like what I subscribe to. And this is what, you know, is important to me. By the way, subscribe to my channel. And subscribe to the Scully. It's the Scully on YouTube. Actually it's the Scully YouTube. The Scully YouTube. The Scully on YouTube was another channel that I had, but I've just changed it to the Scully YouTube, and then you could subscribe here at Racquetball. Here on Racquetball, I talk more about like, you know, I just kind of ramble about current events, and I love fashion, so I talk about fashion a lot. I love music, and there's a lot of art over here, and a lot of just ramblings. More, you know, more of my thought stuff goes on the Scully. So subscribe over there if you want to get more you know, law of attraction stuff, or you know, mindset, motivation, that kind of thing. Here I drop a little bit of that because I definitely believe, you know, I talk about fashion here and like luxury fashion, and I definitely believe like luxury is definitely a mindset. So I definitely feel like I need to spend some time here, not just talking about the actual things like these gorgeous Versace pieces. This is actually Lanvin, but not just talking about the things, but talking about basically like the brain and how you know, you can have all this stuff on, and if you don't feel like, you know, a bad bitch, like what is it even, you know? So like you have to like feel this. And I just definitely want to talk about, I definitely talk about here, like, you know, luxury mindset, because luxury is a mindset, and luxury for everyone is not Versace and, you know, Dapper Dan. Luxury for some people, for myself, I actually love camping. So that's like a luxury for me. And that's like very, and it's not glamping. I like camping. And that's very much a luxury for me. So like I talk about that here. So you know, it's just a cross between like kind of all of my, you know, the things that kind of just, it's a racket over here. It's a lot of racket. It's a racquetball. So, yeah, that's what we do on Racquetball. But if you're interested in more of like the law of attraction, like kind of, you know, motivation and mindset, and just kind of setting yourself straight, the Scully is where I do that stuff. So, I'll put the link. The link is on my main page, so you can check that out too. But basically, I just wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, red flags, because I feel like it's just something that's been on my mind, and it's something, you know, not in a way where it's like I have to be like cautious about them. It's just like I feel like I need to talk about it, because I feel like a lot of people don't even realize like there are red flags going on, and like completely oblivious. Hello, like I'm trying to help you here. By the way, let's move on, because I'm gonna actually take a break, and I might come back, but oh, I'm sorry. This question is, do you have any advice manifesting a healthier lifestyle for yourself? Hi love, thank you so much for being here. Yes, I do. Like I said, the manifestation and things like that I talk about a lot on the Scully, but here I'm happy to talk about manifesting a healthier lifestyle for all of us, because it's a work in progress for me too. But manifesting a healthy lifestyle to me starts with just kind of like, you need to write down exactly what your goals are. And goals for me is kind of a funny word. So I know a lot of people like that word. I don't love the word goals, so I probably shouldn't have said that. But basically just set your intentions for what a healthy lifestyle means to you. A healthy lifestyle for some people is being real thin and not eating and fitting into a certain dress. Okay. A healthy lifestyle for other people is meditation and, doing yoga in the park. So, you have to decide what your healthy lifestyle is for you. Okay. Some things that I do know to truly be helpful are, like I said before, I was having this conversation with my sister, is to have a lot of control over the self. That is a key component to being healthy, in my opinion. I think that is the ultimate version of being healthy. And what I mean by that is basically once you can have a control of your mind or an awareness of your mind and your subconscious mind, you can do anything that you want to do. So you can manifest a healthier lifestyle in the physical form. You can create and, you can relax yourself. You can regulate your emotions. You can do all of this stuff when you have a awareness of your mind. And so that would be the number one key component, in my opinion, of a healthy lifestyle. But then again, I think ultimately you need to write down what it is a healthy lifestyle is for you and set your intentions for that healthy lifestyle. And you'd be surprised when you start to like write down the things that you desire and you believe that you have them. Like I said, you don't write I want, you write I am, I have. When you start doing that, you start to, every time you daydream on it, you imagine it, you reimagine it, you edit it. And every day that those thoughts come to you, you become more and more aware of exactly how you should feel in that space. And you go back and you look at, what you've written and you edit it, and you'll start to be consumed by it. And then your actions will start to actually reflect exactly what you're thinking. So say, for example, a healthier lifestyle might be, I am a gym rat and I go to the gym all the time. You wrote that down. When you go back and look at that, you're going to go, well, what is a gym rat? I go to the gym 6 days a week. Okay, that's not really feasible. I go to the gym 5 days a week. Okay, you're going to go back and look at that again. You're going to go, which days do I go to the gym? You're going to be like, I go to the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then it's going to be like Friday and you're going to be like, oh, snap, it's Friday. I should be at the gym right now. And then you're probably going to go. So it's like you write it down and then you get used to like having it and seeing it and being, and you start to be it. So that's my advice to like manifesting a healthier lifestyle for yourself. It's really crazy how you'll spend, a good amount of time thinking about something and then eventually just like being it. It's crazy. So, yeah, thank you so much for that question. I actually love that question because I love talking about this stuff because it just like reminds me exactly what I need to be doing to, like I said, have a completely, to have control over myself, which I honestly think is the crux of our existence. Like, I think that's what that's why we're here, is to work on that. And I'm not talking, I'm not in any way, because I think a lot of times there's a lot of skeptical people who like to be like, oh, it doesn't work like that, or you can't do that. Or, by the way, those are red flags. Stay away from those people. If people are like constantly like telling you what you can't do, like, don't worry about what I can and can't do. You need to worry about what you're doing. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little angry because I've had people like that in my life and I need to self-regulate because like, Thank you so much. You're so gorgeous yourself. I know it. I could just feel it through the energy of the live. But, basically at the end of the day, there's like people who will tell you what, they'll argue for the limitations of reality. And I'm not living in reality. I'm with the Wright brothers. Like, we are creating airplanes when like only birds can fly. Like, I'm not doing that with you. If you want to be that kind of person that wants to like sit up and tell me how everything can't work, you need to go do what you can't do. Like, go be a can't person. I'm not a can't person. I'm a solutions oriented person. I'm focused on myself. I'm doing the best things I can do for myself. And that's my life. And if you don't understand that, then we're not seeing eye to eye. Like, I'm sorry, like, you're a red flag and you need to be, So yeah. Yeah, that's basically how I feel about, it's so funny. What's so funny in life is like so many things are connected and we just don't even realize how connected things are. Like, things are so connected because, the title of my live is like how to attract everything that you want, but it's also red flags, relationship red flags. And it's also Fashion Week just started, because I love to talk about fashion. And in so many ways, these things are connected and we don't even realize it, because what happens, you know, especially like here on YouTube, like everybody's like, oh, it's a niche. Like, this is my niche. This is what I do. I do everything because I'm a human being, and human beings are multifaceted creatures. You know, I'm not a frog. I don't sit in a pond all day. Like, that's not what I do. I'm sorry. Although if you want to sit in a pond all day, that's super cool. I'm sorry. My grandma would say I'm getting a little fresh, but it is what it is. But anyways, Fashion Week started. I'm super excited about Fashion Week because I think we kind of need a little bit of fashion relief. You know what I mean? It should be called Fashion Relief this year. Yeah, because there's just like a lot going on. Like last year's Fashion Week was, for me, it was a little dull. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a little dull. I actually really loved the spring collections. So 2023 spring was fine. 2023 fall was fine. Okay. 2024 spring. Okay. Like, cool. I'm not buying anything. But you know, no, I'm not. I'm kidding. Actually, I love Roberto Cavalli right now. So good. So good. Roberto Cavalli right now. And I'm a Roberto Cavalli. I'm an animal print girl. I love animals, but also I think it's just my nature because, in my mind, I'm an African kind of queen from, you know, I was draped in, you know, all of the beautiful paintings that reflected the Serengeti, you know, but, so to me, I'm like super, you know, what was going on in the past wasn't that exciting, and what's going on now I think is going to be super exciting. I actually saw some of the Elias show and I thought, wow, this is really beautiful. So I think that's really cool, but I'm really looking forward to a lot of the Italian brands because I just love Italian design, and it's my absolute favorite. Excuse me. But I do also love some of the brands that are like French brands that I think are super timeless and super beautiful and super, what's the word I'm looking for? Because for me, I like a little bit more flash. So I'm not chic Parisian girl at all. But I really love Paco Rabanne. I think Paco Rabanne always is just a vibe. So gorgeous, so stunning. Saint Laurent always is, you know, giving a good dose of rock and roll. You know, I live for a Chanel tweed. So, you know what? I'm actually going to attract a Chanel tweed on me because, you know, I don't have a Chanel tweed. I've got some beautiful, Fendi and Dolce & Gabbana outerwear, jackets and blazers, but I think maybe a vintage piece. I don't know. I'm waiting to see what Chanel does because there hasn't been anything in the past few seasons that I've been like excited about in terms of their outerwear, or their ready to wear, I should say. But I'm super excited for like Roberto Cavalli. I'm super excited for mostly Italian fashion, Milan Fashion Week, and all the Italian designers. I'm really looking forward to that, especially to see what Gucci is doing, where Gucci's moving, because I feel like Gucci, you know, was doing that whole very mindful, very demure. By the way, I want to shout out the very mindful, very demure person because I actually don't know that creator's name, and I just advise everyone to look for that person. So like go in your search engine on whatever platform you're on and just look for a very mindful demure creator, or like the originator, or the person who invented that, because that is like, he ate with that, or she. Oops, I'm sorry. I don't know their pronouns, but they ate with that. And I think they're getting like railroaded. Like, I think somebody like copyrighted that phrase, and like, I'm not sure if they're even able to, you know, monetize it in the way that they should, because it's really good. It's really good. You know, it's like, it's almost as good as Sprinkle Sprinkle. Shout out to Shira. I love Shira so much. But yeah, so yeah, but Fashion Week, I'm looking forward to Milan Fashion Week because I want to see a lot of the Italian design in New York. Let's see how this goes. Okay, the Elias show is beautiful. I know that they had a lot of people come out that were very, you know, special people in that world. So let's see how that turns out. It looked very beautiful when I saw some clips. And, you know, New York Fashion Week is really cool because you get to see a lot of the more, there's a lot of designers, you know, that do shows and at least presentations, which is really cool. And I think New York Fashion Week is a great time to kind of see, you know, the underground stuff, you know, the people who really are the change makers, like the people who walk the street with like a style that is, you know, that's getting replicated by some of the, you know, major brands. These people are really, you know, the trendsetters. And at New York Fashion Week, there's a lot of smaller name brands that actually show kind of, you know, what the street does, you know, what people on the street are doing. And I love that. So, you know, I actually am looking forward to that component. But like I said, I'm super excited for Milan Fashion Week and, you know, London too. I know Burberry's, that's Burberry showcase typically. So let's see what Burberry's doing, because I've heard some things. Okay. I've heard some things. But basically, Gucci, like I was saying, was kind of doing that old money stuff, which, like, okay. I'm not trying to do that old money stuff. Like, honey, I'm a mob wife. I'm not really a mob wife. But you know what I mean? Like, I like a little bit more flash. I'm not trying to do that, like, oh, I'm so, like, oh, like, hey, look at me. I'm so old money and so boring. I'm sorry I said it. It's boring. Like, it's kind of boring. If it's your thing, cool. Shout out to you. Like, that's what you want to do. It's not what I want to do. Everybody doesn't want to do that. Like, everybody does not want to wear tan. I'm sorry. Everybody doesn't want to put no nail polish on. Everybody doesn't want to wear the same stuff. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. That's not what I want to do. I want to be who I am. I am who I am. And it's, you know, it's just like, I'm just really looking forward to seeing some more variety. And I think that's the best part of life, you know, the variety of life. By the way, this red flag just came to me. If you are a person, if you're in, you know, kind of a space with people who are just constantly seeking out something new, just like always, just like everything has to be new. Everything has to be new. Like, we just always got to change this. Everything, like, I'm sorry, but they might change you. Like, they might actually ditch you for something else. Like, I'm just letting you know. Like, everything has to be new. Like, I got to get a new this, a new that, a new this. You got to get the new trendiest thing, but it's not really going to work. I'm sorry. Like, even with a friend, you know, you have that kind of friend that's just like, I'm going here, I'm doing this and this. No, it's not going to work. Like, they are a person. They are what my sister and I call scene people. Scene people, like the scene people are dangerous. They're dangerous because they're not content with themselves. When people, like I said before, are not content with themselves, they will never be content with you. That could be friends. That could be family. That can be romantic partners. So just, you know, clock it. Like, be careful. Like, notice it. If people are just like always like, oh my God, like I need something new, newness. You know what? Actually, there was a movie called Newness back in the day on Netflix. Phenomenal movie if you can find it. I want to say it was a German movie. It might have been a Spanish movie. By the way, Spanish series, movies, incredible. It's 111 Make-A-Wish, but it's some of the best stuff you'll ever watch. Like, incredible writing, incredible storylines, just incredible stuff. But this movie, Newness, was a movie that I watched years ago, and it was fabulous. So if you can find it, watch it. Was it a Spanish movie? I think it was. Or am I thinking about Victoria, which was also another phenomenal movie? But anyways, that's another red flag. Like, if somebody's just like always about the new stuff, like, oh, they always got to get, you know, like, I'm sorry, but like, are you going to like cherish something that's, you know, developed and mature in your life? Like, everything has to be new. Like, I'm not new to you. Like, I'm your person that's been around. Like, are you going to respect and care for something that you've had around for a while, or do you have to replace a person too? I'm just letting you know. It's a red flag. Seen people who are constantly just like always looking for, you know, the hottest, newest thing. It's fine for a while. It might even be fun, you know, like they're always like, they want to go shopping all the time. But let me tell you right now, it's danger. You're in danger, girl. So that was one that came to me. I'm telling you, there's like these divine kind of things coming to me about red flags. And I just like, I need to share it. These are like the most unpopular red flags ever. Like these things are not things that people talk about. Everybody talks about like, oh, infidelity, this person cheats all the time. Oh, they are a narcissist. They love bombed me. Sure, those things are very important too. But these little ones, these ones are insidious and these ones are real. Okay, so just like sharing that with you, and make sure on that list that you just put on that list, like, I'm feeling good and I am not welcoming. I welcome and receive the green flags, period. Green flags. Like I said, also I want to share like kind of this idea of like focusing, because I said also this whole like focusing, this whole like focusing of like, okay, your attention on red flags. I can do this because I'm in a position right now where like my brain is like so aware of things because they're like divinely coming to me and I need to share them. If you are not fully in control of your, you know, your mind in the way that you need to be. So this is like, you need to spend some time doing that. Self-care. We talked about self-care, prioryapotheca.com, for your best self-care treatments and things like that. But self-care, you know, tip-top self-care advice is that you spend some time, kind of understanding your mind. Because when we start to like ruminate on things and we start to feel, you know, we start to pay attention to certain things, we start to manifest those things. So like, I'm not saying like focus on red flags. Like red flags are then gonna just like be flying at you like left and right. I, on the other hand, have a very strong sense of when I am ruminating on things that I shouldn't be ruminating on, and then how to switch back into the specific thing. So this is more just like pay attention to behaviors, which we all have to do as humans that are surviving on the planet. So those were two red flags that are, you know, putting you in a position where it's not the best thing. You know what I'm saying? And this all goes back to attracting everything you want, because ultimately attracting everything that you want starts with having a high self-esteem, feeling great about yourself, being the person that you want to be, being the person that you say you are when you write it down, because you're going to write down exactly what it is that you desire. But if we are not feeling our best because we're putting up with red flags, it's going to not be a vibe to attract all that we desire. So that's why I'm mentioning red flags in this, you know, live with attracting everything that you desire. And, you know, one of the things that, you know, we have to consider is just, you know, not putting up with that stuff. So that was just kind of what I wanted to say. And I just wanted to mention Fashion Week because, you know, currently, it's happening and it's fun and it's something to kind of take your mind off of, you know, red flags. I'm just kidding. But also, like, sometimes when we kind of get distracted by things, it's a very healthy habit to help us feel better. So, you know, when you're distracted by like all of the cool fashion and like all of the beautiful things, then you're going to spend like more time thinking about those things and less time dealing with red flag people and red flags in general. Less time dealing with, you know, red flags at work, red flags in friendships, family. You're not going to be interested in any of that stuff because you're going to be watching Fashion Week. Okay. You see how that works? It all just kind of like goes together. Like, okay, I am so busy watching the Aliyah show and interested. I'm planning to check out the new stuff that Fendi is going to be showcasing in their new collection. I don't have time to entertain red flags. And in doing so, I feel great. And when I feel great, I attract everything I wrote down. and everything I want. See how that works? It's crazy. These are like, I'm giving you like just the formula. Like that is the formula. Like, hello. That's insane. Like that's the formula. Like, hello. Like I am so busy doing the things that are fun and the things that make me feel good that I have a very high self-esteem right now and I'm feeling great. I don't have time to entertain red flags. When I see those red flags, bye. I feel good. I can attract everything I desire. I attract everything I desire when I feel my best because I'm feeling great watching the new Fendi collection. I'm feeling great going camping. I told you I love camping. I'm feeling great putting on my makeup. I don't have time to lower my self-esteem and deal with red flags. I don't have time to do that. I'm not entertaining things that are pulling energy from me. I'm not entertaining people. Remember I said unpopular red flag. Hey, I'm with you and I give you no energy. I'm just like a person. This person is with you all the time. They barely smile with you. They don't have any energy for you. They're making you do all the work. They're making you talk, all that. Like you have to carry the conversation, be the party, cook the food. You have to do everything. But then they're up in somebody else's face giggling and you know, chucking and driving. Like red flag, do not deal with that person. That person is sucking energy from you. And that person is giving you a vibe of like, low vibration, low self-esteem. No. You're not attracting the things you desire. You're attracting the things you desire when you feel great. How do you feel great? You get distracted. You get distracted by the things that make you feel great. Like I said, so many things that make you feel great. You might be cooking. Cooking might make you feel great because you're a phenomenal cook. You might be a person that likes to put your makeup on. You feel great because you're putting your makeup on. You might be into fashion. You might be into self-care, priorpathica.com. You're putting in your oils on your skin and you feel great. You're living your best life. When you're living your best life, you attract exactly what you desire. When you are spending your time and your energy on people who are red flags and exhibiting red flags and bad behavior. What was my other unpopular red flag? I don't know. I don't remember, but it's here and you can go back and see what the other red flag was. But I just have this like feeling like there's these red flags, you know, like that need to be talked about that are not popular red flags because a lot of people are dealing with these types of red flags. And when they're dealing with those things, they're not in a good vibration. And when they're not in a good vibration, and when I say good vibration, I know that's like those words that everybody says online, like vibration, manifestation, spooky. By the way, it's spooky season and I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. My sister's behind me. So like, I'm not like against those words at all. I actually welcome and receive those words with great things. But for some people, I understand, you know, like everybody is not, you know, everybody has their preferred vocabulary and language for describing how they feel, and it doesn't have to be vibration. It could just like do you feel good when you are a person who is spending all your energy on somebody who is like giving you nothing in return? No, you don't feel good, and you know that. Like, let's be for real. Like, okay, so it's not even about like, okay, like, oh my God, like vibration. I'm saying like we don't feel good when we are people spending time where we know we shouldn't be spending time. It doesn't feel right when you're getting no return on your investment, okay? When you don't feel right, how can you even take action and do the things that you want to do or that you say you are? Because you wrote them down. You said you want a healthier lifestyle. You said you want to be, you know, I don't know, you want a new car. You said you want to go travel. You want to do all these things. If you're spending like time and energy on like people who are exhibiting red flag behaviors, how the heck are you going to do any of the things on your list? How are you going to track the things you desire? So one of the main components of this luxury mindset is that you spend time eliminating that stuff so that you can actually attract exactly what you want. So the feeling is everything. And so that's why I just wanted to like, you know, get on here and talk about that for a little bit. Cause I just feel like there's like something in me that just, I had to talk about this stuff, even though it's Friday night and I should be dancing. And I will dance, because dancing, again, is a wonderful thing to do, to feel good. And when you feel good, you go back to that list of all the stuff that you wrote down that you want to do and you are, and that you know, all these things that you want to attract in your life. You want another job, you want this. Once you feel good, you're going to go look at that list and be like, I am this stuff. I am doing this stuff. I have all the time and energy to do this stuff. I'm not spending my time dealing with, you know, a person who is, you know, love bombing me and trying to distract me from the things that I actually want. I'm not dealing with, you know, a coworker who is friendly to everyone in the office except me. I'm not dealing with, you know, you're not dealing with bad energy. You're dealing with good things, good distractions that make you feel wonderful. You know, one of these days I'm actually, like I said, you can go to the Scully. I need to pump out some content over there, but basically on the Scully, I talk a little bit more about like thoughts rather than things. Here I talk about things. I do try to, because thoughts and things are so heavily intertwined. Okay. They're so heavily intertwined. And like a lot of times it's really easy in reality to not realize, look at that, realize the reality. It's not easy to realize like how intertwined these things are. These things are so intertwined. You have everything that is in this life was a thought. Everything. I talked about the airplanes. Okay. And we can get into like how crazy some people's imaginations are and like what they're able to even create from there. And like all the people around them that told them they couldn't do that. Again, that's another red flag. I think that's the red flag I talked about before that's kind of unnoticed. And I think if people deal with this type of red flag with family a lot, but it's just that person that's always telling you what you can't do. They're always arguing for limitations. Always. They're always telling you can't do this, or that's not possible, or that's not, you know, that's not practical. That's not the, please leave. Like, no, like nobody's dealing with that. Like, I'm with the Wright brothers. Like, we are flying in the sky like birds. I don't care if you've never seen an airplane before. Like, that's what we do. Because, you know, that's the thing, is like the imagination is what allows us to create these desires. These desires don't just come from thin air. They literally come from our mind for a reason. Okay, that's one thing I do know. You know, everybody thinks they know everything. You know, they go to their services and they listen to these people that know everything about everything. One thing I do know is that if something appears in your mind, there has to be a reason why. Okay, it's not always a can't situation. If you're around people who are, I can't do this, can't do that. Okay, then go can't do that over there, because I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I just wanted to say, because a lot of people will be like, you know, they're always telling you they can't. Those people are draining energy. Those people are people who are pulling back, like, you know, they're pulling us back from what we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to do. Because let me tell you something. If it came up in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Okay. It wouldn't have come up in your mind if you couldn't hold it in your hand. So it just is a matter of like, you know, distracting yourself with the things that feel good, going back to your list of the things that you want. Fendi bag, watching the cool people on the runway looks fun. I like this. It's exciting. I'm going to do this, instead of dealing with these people who are negative and dealing with these people who are, you know, smiling in other people's faces, but giving me like, you know, blah energy. Like, okay, fine. I'm not dealing with you. I'm watching the freaking Fashion Week because it makes me feel happy. And I'm going back to my list after I watched Fashion Week, and I'm going to look at that list and be like, hey, look, would you look at that? Look at that. I said I was going to have a healthier lifestyle, like love here. I'm going to the gym 5 days a week. Tomorrow is Saturday. Saturday is the first day I'm going back to the gym. Hey, look at that. I feel so great. The gym is such a fun place. Oh, I said I'm getting a new car. Let me go look at these new cars. Let me go see some of these cars I really like. What car do I want to get? Ooh, I really like that car. Oh, I said that I'm going to be meditating more, because meditation is just like a time where I'm going to be able to like relax and feel so good and connect with myself. I wrote that down. That's who I am. I'm a yogi now. You have time to like look at that stuff and do that, because you're not entertaining red flags. Because instead of entertaining those red flags, and instead of entertaining those people that are giving you nothing, you decided to do something that felt great. You looked at the Cavalli collection, because by the way, the Cavalli collection was so good. Last few seasons, I'm like obsessed. Also, Ferragamo, by the way, so good. Oh, I feel so great. Look at this. Look at all the talent, all of the, you know, inspired, just look at all of this. It's so great. Like, I am feeling good. Like, let me go look at my list of things that I want to attract in my life, or that I am attracting, that I am. Let me go look at that. Let me not entertain these people. Let me not deal with this energy depleting situation. Let me go put my makeup on and feel good. Let me go do this. That's what everybody needs to be doing. People don't need to be sitting around and dealing with red flags. But that's basically, you know, I'm going to get off here soon, but that's basically what I wanted to talk about tonight. And, like I said, it's all intertwined. And, you know, I think it's going to be super funny because I'm going to spend some more time just kind of making these like ridiculous titles to these lives where it's like, how is any of this stuff, you know, it's all connected. Everything is connected. You know, everything is connected. It's crazy. Like, we're just one planet. Like, isn't that crazy? I'm just kidding. But yeah, so subscribe to Racquetball, and like I said, you could subscribe to my other channel, the Scully YouTube, and subscribe to my sister's channels, Sid's City, Sydscity, SYDSCITY, and Sidnado. That's a gaming channel. She's like a master gamer, but on her other channels, she does kind of her thing over there, and she's really fun. So you should check out her channel. And if you like any, I'm gonna share some more of my like favorite things, and kind of where you can kind of see some of the things that I really like, and some of the things that I really love. And if you want to, you know, get your self-care on, like I said, we got something in the works that we're really super excited about, super passionate about, I want to say too, because like self-care is everything, because you have to feel good. I'm acting like I'm like a teacher tonight. No, it's, you know, there's just something coming over me that I just feel like I had to share this stuff, you know what I mean? But basically, that's where you can check out more of us. And links for everything in the description. Good night.